So, for those that are listening who are not familiar with what choice theory is, can you give us a working definition? What is it and how does it differ from other ways of working with people?
Choice theory talks about what motivates people. That's the first thing. And Dr. Glasser, who was the founder of choice theory, postulates that there are 5 basic needs that all humans have, and these are the needs that drive people at home and at work in life. The other thing about choice theory is you cannot force people to do what they don't want to do. No matter how hard you try, you put a gun to someone's head, and if they really don't want to do it, they'll resist.
What are those needs and do they map in some way back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
That's a great question, and people often think so, but no, they don't, because Maslow's needs were a model of ascending to self actualization. And Glasser's needs are basic human needs that everybody needs every day. So there may be people on the planet who are not trying to build their way to self actualization, but every person on the planet is trying to meet these 5 basic needs every day in order to feel satisfied and happy. So the first need, of course, is survival, like Maslow talks about, but we also add to that safety and security. And it's really about, workplace safety and security, unless you're a first responder of some sort and your physical safety is at risk, right? It's most of us have our survival need met at work. It's the safety and security piece that causes us some angst sometimes. So people who are high in safety and security are the people who are very aware of the rules and regulations. They want to make sure that we follow policies. And they often are saying, this has worked for 30 years. Why do we want to change it now? They're the ones that are most resistant to change. The next one is connection. The connection people like to be involved in relationships. They are the people who can notice when somebody's a little off kilter before anybody says anything. They're good at sensing other people's energy. And they're also good at smoothing conflict between people. They don't like conflict. So they'll go in and they'll say, hey, what's going on with you two? Let me help you work this out. So a connection person is really helpful to have on the team because they take care of that human element and that personal piece. Then there's the need for significance. And it's great when you have a high significance person in charge of the team because the person with significance has the vision. And they're also the ones that can map out step by step how to get to where we want to be. And they show up and they're invested. One of the bad things about significance people is they can set a goal and accomplish it without too much difficulty because they're very focused on that goal. And they find it hard to understand other people who can't do that too. But not everybody has that high need for significance. And then the freedom people, they're great to have on a team too, although they drive the survival people crazy because the freedom people are saying, hey, we've been doing that for 30 years. Let's look at doing something new and different. Why don't we try this? How about that? The freedom people are the ones who don't even know there's a box to be stuck in. They're on the outside of the box trying to figure out how to do some new things. They also tend to resist sometimes the deep connections that the connection people would like to foster. And the last one is the need for joy. And the need for joy, these folks at work because they have a great sense of humor. They want to be playful at work. And sometimes your significance people don't like the joy people because they look like they're not getting any work done because they're always goofing around. But that doesn't mean that's necessarily true. And of course, none of us are just one of these needs. We're a combination of all 5, but we have 1 or 2 that are prominent for us. And the way to know that they're prominent is to just ask yourself, what is driving your behavior the majority of the time? And I know for me, my behavior is driven often by connection, but also freedom. So those are the 2 that are high for me. And understanding what yours are and then learning about the needs of the people that you're involved with, either at home or at work in life, can really help how to tap into that person's needs. Just a quick example. When I worked at that foster care agency, my boss was a high significance person. And she was known for squashing people when they disagreed with her. And I often disagreed with her, as is common for a freedom person. And I wanted to find a way to speak to her so that she didn't squash me, because I'm also a connection person, and that would have been painful for me. So what I did with her was I would often say, could I play devil's advocate? And then I would say, what if we do what you say and then this happens? And she could hear me because I knew that her need was power. And I often prefaced my conversation with, I know you have a really hard job running this organization, and I would never want your job. But could I play devil's advocate for a minute? So I'm saying to her in advance, I'm not a threat to you. So she didn't feel the need to squash me. So it's just understanding what's driving people. I'm not talking about playing games. I'm talking about being genuine with people, but knowing what's driving them and helping have a conversation that both of you can participate in productively.
Yeah, that's a great example. It makes perfect sense.